Hello, folks. I'm the old sergeant. The $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill is full of stuff that should not be in this bill. It is a Democrat slush fund that we will be paying for generations to come. We are already seeing the massive printing of money causing skyrocketing inflation, drastically decreasing the value of the American dollar. Let's look at an overview of spending committee by committee. Ways and Means provides $1,400 per person stimulus checks, $422 billion. Okay, this is COVID relief. Extend unemployment programs through August 29th with $400 a week supplement. Probably also okay. Expand child tax credit, child care tax credit, and earned income tax credit mostly for 1 year. Perhaps this one should be permanent. Provide grants to multi-employer pension plans and single employer pension funding rules. 1, this has nothing to do with COVID relief. And 2, is this bailing out failed union pensions? Temporarily expand the Affordable Care Act subsidies. Why are we subsidizing the Unaffordable Care Act at $58 billion? The ACA is destroying the once greatest healthcare system in the world. Where is this money going? Extend paid sick leave and employee retention credit. Okay. Subsidize COBRA coverage for laid off workers. Okay. Other policies. Just $9 billion to throw around. Oversight and reform. Provide money to state governments. This is $195 billion to bail out failed blue states for their bad policies, keeping Democrats in power at the state level. Provide money to local governments, territories, and tribes. This is $155 billion to bail out Democrat-ruined cities like New York and Minneapolis. Create paid COVID leave for federal workers and other policies. Okay. Education and labor. Provide funding for K-12 education. $129 billion to pay back the teachers' unions. Provide funding for colleges and universities. $40 billion to pay for communist and critical race theory indoctrination. It allows the education elite to live in luxury, and a lot of this money is going to be sent back to Democrat politicians. This is money laundering political slush fund. Increase the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025. With all the money printing, $15 will only have the buying power of $7 by 2025. Fool the poor into votes at the cost of nothing. Provide support for childcare, grants to childcare providers, and Head Start. This is not a federal government responsibility. Where is the $40 billion really going? Subsidize COBRA coverage for laid-off workers. Okay. Extend nutrition assistance in place of school lunch for the duration of the emergency and other food assistance. I'm going to go with okay on this one. Human services, labor programs, and other policies. Not enough information on this 11 billion line item. I'm quite suspicious. Energy and commerce. Increase funding for testing and contact tracing. $50 billion to set up monitoring of all Americans with a social credit system just like the CCP does. Increase public health workforce and investments. Why is the federal government stealing money from our descendants to pay for this? Fund vaccine distribution, confidence, and supply chains. Okay. Increase Medicaid payments to states that newly expand Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act. This is entrenching government control of your health care with their whole lives system. They may decide that they can't afford to give old people expensive treatments. Best to give them pain medication and keep them comfortable and let them die. So says Obama. So says them all. Allow states to expand Medicaid coverage for prisoners close to release and for pregnant and postpartum women for 5 years. Again, what does this have to do with COVID? Other policies. What on earth are they spending $32 billion on? Transportation and infrastructure. Increase funding for the Disaster Relief Fund and cover funeral expenses related to COVID. Again, I am suspicious. Provide grants to transit agencies. This is for bailing out failed mass transit liberal pipe dreams. Provide grants to airports and aviation manufacturers. This is to prevent our airline industry from collapsing. Provide grants to communities under economic stress. Once again, bailouts for mismanaged Democrat cities. Grants to Amtrak and other transportation-related spending. As I said, bailing out failed and mismanaged mass transit. Financial services. Provide emergency rental assistance and assist homeless. This is a state responsibility. Provide grants to airlines and contractors to freeze airline layoffs through September. Again, this may be part of the effort to keep our airline industry from collapsing, so it may be something we have to do. Use Defense Production Act to buy and distribute medical supplies. On the surface, this seems okay. Provide mortgage payment assistance. If this is the result of losing or suspending a job due to COVID, then it may be fine. Reauthorize and fund the State Small Business Credit Initiative. If this is to try to save small businesses shut down by COVID, then it should be okay. Small businesses. Provide grants to restaurants and bars that lost revenue due to the pandemic. Good. Provide additional economic injury disaster loan, EIDL, advance grants of up to $10,000 per business. This seems fine. Allow more Paycheck Protection Program, PPP, loans, and expand eligibility to certain nonprofit and digital media companies. May also be fine. Other policies. Another $3 billion to throw around to your friends. Veterans Affairs. As a veteran, I'm always happy to get additional help for veterans. But does the following need to be in a COVID relief bill? I am hoping these line items are to aid veterans with COVID. Cynically, this may just be used to attack anyone voting against this bill as voting against veterans. Line items are provide funding for health care services, facilities, and co-pays for veterans. Fund job training assistance programs for veterans and other VA administrative costs. Agriculture. Increase nutrition assistance. This should be state level. Pay off loans and other programs for socially disadvantaged farmers. The Biden administration made it clear this is for minorities only. Whites need not apply. This is racism at its core and vote buying. It should not hold up to a court challenge. Purchase and distribute food to needy individuals. The non-COVID state responsibility. Testing and monitoring for COVID in rural communities and among animal populations. I have no problem with the federal government involved here, as we need nationwide data on this. Foreign Affairs, Natural Resources and Science, Space and Technology. This is $12 billion for areas that have nothing to do with COVID. What despots overseas are we giving the $10 billion to? Maybe another plane load of cash to Iran like under the Obama administration? Most of the money has nothing to do with COVID and is just bailouts and political slush funds for Democrats. At least one of these line items for helping people may be race specific, i.e., whites need not apply. Even the items on the surface that seem okay probably have a lot of crap items in the details. So here we are. With all the money printing, we are dropping a heavy burden on our descendants, mainly for current Democrat power and money. They are stealing our kids' and grandkids' futures. Already, there will be massive inflation. It is estimated that our money will be dropping at least 15% in buying power every year until the money is worthless. Life savings destroyed as the politicians spend and spend and spend. I am the old sergeant. Stay informed, prepared, active, prayerful, and as always, stay vigilant.